Montu. Despite my general dislike for B&M inverted coasters, Montu is a solid ride. It doesn't seem to whip me around as much as other B&M inverted coasters. It has enough breaks between the inversions. It offers decent theming while flying close to the ground. But despite this praise, how much can I actually like this ride? And how good do I think it is? Find out in this review. Montu is one of 32 B&M inverted coasters in the world and was the 12th overall built. These inverts are famous for the Batman the Ride clones, which has 11 different installations currently in operation. Other B&M inverts include a variety of different size coasters, but with a 128-foot drop, Montu ranks as one of the larger B&M inverts out there. Montu has a slight Egyptian theme, and the name comes from the Egyptian god of war. The queue line isn't too nice, but you likely won't be there long because of the high capacity of the train. Even if they are only running one train, Montu was almost always a station wait for me, though I normally hit this ride up very early in the day. When I went with crazy long lines at Christmas, I did see the line spilling out into the midway, even with two trains. But unlike many of the other rides in the park, Quick Queue was still just a station wait, even in this scenario. The theming along the ride though, from the trenches to the overall landscaping, does make this ride and adds an extra sense of speed and style to an inverted coaster. Since much of this theming occurs in the second half of the ride, it elevates Montu to that next level. After departing the station, you travel around a small turnaround, unlike Batman the Ride clones. However, this doesn't offer much. The lift hill seems to promise a nice drop with its size and height, but the turn drop is only okay, though slightly better than what you'll find on Batman the Ride clones. Montu's vertical loop is elongated, so you don't get the nice sustained G-forces that you will find on Batman the Ride clones. This is a miss in my opinion, since these powerful vertical loops are easily my favorite part of Batman the Ride clones. Then you enter my favorite element on Montu, the immelman. This is essentially a half loop followed by an inline twist which turns you slightly to the left. The theming of going under the queue line helps, but the forces on the pullout are floaty and enjoyable, which offers a nice complement to the sustained loop forces of the half loop. Fun fact, this was also the very first immelman inversion on any roller coaster, so I'm happy to say it is still one of the best inversions on any coaster in my opinion. You then travel through a zero-G roll, which is a pretty standard for a B&M Invert. This one seems to be slightly less snappy than others, which makes it more enjoyable for me. Notably, there is some dead time entering and exiting the zero-G roll, which makes this inversion not seem to come on you all of a sudden. A detriment to pacing for some, but something that I can greatly appreciate, as I'm just not a fan of the snappy B&M zero-G rolls. Then you enter a Batwing, which is essentially the inverse of a Cobra roll. Many enthusiasts praise this element as the best inversion or inversions on Montu, but to me, it wasn't much different than a Cobra roll, which I find to be relatively neutral. With how I dislike snappy inversions on B&M Inverts, I'll take more of a neutral inversion for sure. I just don't see what others see is elite about this element. Then you enter a mid-course brake run. Since I'm a big fan of breaking up the experience on B&M Inverts, I actually really enjoy the ability to catch my breath here, even if it isn't the most beautiful part of the ride. Then you whip down off the brake run into a drop that doesn't do too much, standard for B&M brake runs. though this one whips you enough to the side that you can at least feel that you're back at it again and ready to take on roller coaster elements. Next, you go through another vertical loop. This one is a bit more compact, offering decent forces, though not as strong as Batman the Ride's vertical loop. I greatly enjoy having a loop like this so late in a coaster, and the setting in a trench reminds me of my favorite B&M floorless coaster, Kraken. Then you twist and turn through some solidly themed trenches, which only one corkscrew that will come out to knock you around. Since B&M Inverts usually beat me up a fair bit, it is reassuring to know that there's only one sneaky inversion towards the end of this coaster, looking to throw me around. After these twists and turns, you enter the brake run, ending your ride on Montu. Overall, how good is Montu? With my general dislike towards B&M Inverts, I'm not inclined to rank this coaster as highly as others. I have it as the 7th best coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. But that is a park filled with solid coasters. Others will have this as one of the best B&M Inverts in the world, with a general push that it is the best in the United States. Given my overall enjoyment of most elements on this coaster, I cannot disagree with that sentiment, as I enjoy this coaster much more than any other B&M inverted coaster that I've been on so far. However, I just don't rank it super highly in my personal rankings, because I still just don't enjoy it as much as many other coasters. I rank Montu as right above a solid average coaster, placing just ahead of my benchmark coaster for this, Poltergeist, at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, but right below Vortex at Siam Amazing Park, since, surprisingly, I actually do not dislike Vekoma SLCs like I do B&M Inverts. How good do you feel Montu is? Do you have any tips for how I can enjoy B&M Inverts more? Is Montu the best B&M Invert that you've been on? Let me know, and as always, Kap Kun Krop.